Welcome back to my channel. As always, I am very excited for today's video, and this one, as you can tell from the title, is going to be 5 fitness myths that you probably still believe. Now, before we jump into it, if this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Samantha, or Sammy for short, and I am a certified personal trainer as well as a young mom. So if either or both of those are of any interest to you, then please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be informed when I upload all of my future content. You can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Samantha5_, and yes, it is 5 underscores because my name is pretty popular. You can also go ahead and follow me on TikTok at Sammy for short. Now, with all that being said and out of the way, let's jump in to the video. The first myth that many people, especially recently, believe is that gluten-free diets and vegan diets are for fat loss. Now, these two diets in and of themselves do not equate to fat loss. They are made for different reasons. One of those reasons being gluten-free diets are made for individuals who have an intolerance to gluten, and this could either be they just like excessively bloat due to it, or some cases it can be so bad that it could potentially be life-threatening if they do have gluten. That is why the diet is even there in the first place. And so people who have these intolerances such as celiac disease can enjoy the foods that they would like to enjoy without having to worry about becoming sick. There's so many gluten-free options that aren't healthier. They still have the calories, they still have the sodium and the sugars and things like that in them. It's just free of gluten. That's all it is. There could be healthy gluten-free options of already healthy foods, but it's not there to help anyone lose weight. In some cases, individuals who have to have gluten-free diets can experience weight gain due to some of the foods that they're going to be consuming, because these are also a lot of processed foods and ingredients. Now, when we come to vegan and vegetarian diets, these are created for people who don't support animal cruelty and who want to avoid eating animal products because of how harsh the treatment of these animals is, or just the fact that they don't want to eat an animal. That's why that was created. It again was not made for the idea of losing weight. And there's so many vegan and like vegetarian options that are again processed. Like French fries are vegan, but they're not healthy. You can have vegan pizza, but that's not healthy. You can have vegan burgers, and those aren't necessarily healthy. And a lot of times when you do the more processed vegan and vegetarian options, vegetarian or a vegan burger, that can sometimes be more unhealthy than a normal burger because it's more processed and there's so much more chemicals going into it to make something taste like something else that it's not. You can't just go off and say anything that's vegan is healthy, because that's not true. Now, people can sometimes, with all of these diets that I've mentioned, lose weight because it limits a lot of the options that they're allowed to have. If they're doing it in a more plant-based way, then you're gonna see weight loss results. But if you're just doing processed vegan, vegetarian, or gluten-free foods, it does not mean that it's healthier for you. Number 2, all sugar is bad for you, even fruit. There's been this huge thing going around, specifically with one male fitness influencer that's like, oh, fruit's really not that good for you because of the fructose and the sugars and the blah 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 blah. And that's just not true. Some sugars are good for you and some sugars are bad for you. Fruit has natural sugars that help you, and there's so many benefits to eating fruits with all of the vitamins and nutrients that it does give you. Fruits are so low in calories for the most part that you can eat a substantial amount of them without gaining weight, and you can still feel full and you can still feel satiated and energized and good. It's not any artificial sugars that you might get, pastries or candies or things like that. They're not the same type of sugar. One is artificial, one is natural. The natural is obviously going to be better for you. Number 3 is cutting out carbs. This is a huge thing, and I really thought we were getting past it, but people are still talking to me when I train them about keto this and keto that, and oh, I just love pasta so much I can't give it up. You don't have to give it up. You just have to cut back on it a little bit, but you don't have to give it up. Carbs are good for you. They are your friend. They give you energy. It is your main source of energy. And carbs are in so many things. Just like I was mentioning with the sugar and the fruit, carbs are literally in apples. You're gonna tell me that we can't eat apples because that's not healthy because there's carbs in it? No. For the most part, everything is healthy in moderation, so long as you're not taking that to extremes, but you have to be smart about the carbs you're having. Obviously, you can't go have cake every single day because there's more calories and sugars and processed ingredients. Well, you can still have carbs on a pretty regular basis as long as they're the healthy options and you're not eating too much and you have good portions of everything that you need, then you can have carbs and you can enjoy your life and you can be happy. Number 4, cardio burns fat. Technically, yes, cardio burns calories, which would help you lose weight. However, there's a couple of things about cardio that people don't get. If you are only doing cardio and you do end up losing weight, you're more than likely going to experience more loose skin, which is something that a lot of people do not want. Now, depending on how much weight you're losing, you'll probably have loose skin anyway, but if you're building muscle and strength training on top of that, then you are going to have a little bit more tightness and the loose skin will be less apparent. But anyway, back to the cardio. You need to do more than just running on the treadmill 3 times a week to get significant results. You might start seeing results in the beginning, but you're not going to have that muscle definition and you're just gonna get softer, but you're not actually going to drastically change your physique, which people oftentimes mistake weight loss and physique for the same thing. Just because you lose weight doesn't mean you're gonna have the body that you want, because you're not working on tightening, toning, building the muscles that you are looking for. And then also, if you just become stagnant, if you're just doing the same thing all the time, just running the treadmill the same way, same speed, everything, it works in the beginning, but it doesn't work long term. You need different stressors placed on the body in order to have any more progress after a certain point. And number 5, you have to lift heavy in order to see results. That's just not true. A lot of times I still like body weight exercises because you really focus in on that form and you can think about where you should be feeling it. Especially with things like lower body, I can lift more weight with my lower body and I like to. However, if I start feeling that I'm utilizing more muscles in a back squat, sometimes depending on how heavy the weight goes, I might feel it more in my back because my back is pretty strong and I get dominant in that area. And if I want to feel it more in my lower body and my glutes, I will lower the weight, because even though I can physically do more weight, I want to target a specific area. I want to use that mind to muscle connection, and I will lower the weight so that I can focus on the proper form I need to feel it where I want to feel it and to build the muscle that I want to build. Yes, having a 5 rep max is like really cool to figure out what that is, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not just about how much weight you lift. And I always tell my clients, your form is more important than how much weight you lift or how fast you go. You want to make sure that you are in control of the movement and that you're feeling it where you need to be, because sometimes without realizing it, and it's different for each person depending on how strong you are or just how your body moves or is, you might be more dominant in a certain area and that might become an overactive muscle when you're doing your exercises. And so you want to make sure that you are really taking that time to focus in and hone in on what you are supposed to be doing. And then when eventually you get really good at it, you can start increasing weight and obviously work towards a progressive overload to build more muscle. But it is not necessary, especially when starting out, because you want to take it safe and you want to slowly and gradually get there. And even when you get there, it doesn't hurt to take a step back after a little bit and then work your way up again and then take a step back to make sure that it's a healthy process that you can continue with. Those were my 5 fitness myths that I think a lot of people still believe. If you have any others that you'd like to leave in the comments, then please go ahead and do so. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. It would really help me out a lot. And that's it. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go, but before I do, I remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.